Hello, all of my Earth friends. It's been a while since we did a kind of out there talking video. Last night I was up really late, like when are we not, and I was watching YouTube videos and I stumbled upon this video that made me take out my journal and start writing down some notes. And every time that happens, something in me goes, Sarah, take these notes and don't hoard them to yourself, share them, make a video about it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. Greatly inspired by Dr. Stephen Greer, alright? I'm greatly inspired by the videos that he has made and the things that he talks about, so I will link the video I'm specifically referring to in my description box. But I kind of wanted to just talk about it in my own words / go over the notes I took just because I just feel like it's very important, and it reminded me of something I basically felt as a little girl and something that nobody really told me but I felt. And I feel like there's a lot of you guys out there who might be like that too. And the video I watched last night was really helpful, so I'm really hoping that maybe me putting it into my words and my perception, or just kind of re-explaining what he talked about, will resonate with you as much as it resonated with me. So basically what he was talking about is the fact that a lot of us, and we've talked about this in videos before, we have a very, very strong connection and bond with our physical body. But we always have to keep in mind that we are just multi-dimensional beings experiencing this human existence and experiencing this human body. We talked about this in Mama What Am I in the Life of a Cell video. We have a whole lot going on. We're a complex being. So a lot of us just feel trapped and stuck and anxious, and we want to escape this body. That's not necessarily saying that we want to know what happens next after this human experience, but some of us just, at least I know for a fact I do, I want to escape into the clouds and just fly like a bird. I feel stuck. But what we have to remind ourselves is that this is just, remember, it is just a transportation for our souls, for our consciousness, for the experience that we are experiencing. So, because we forget that we have the ability for our consciousness to connect to different periods of time, we have the ability to connect to a conscious field, we have the ability to connect to a consciousness whose field is above time and space. But because we are so stuck in this dimension that our bodies are in, this time and space dimension, we feel stuck. And when we're presented with the notion of being able to manifest your own destiny, to be able to see the past, see the present, see the future, we have started to believe all of these crazy little myths that aren't true, and it's guiding us in the completely wrong way. So one of the myths that he speaks about in his videos is the idea that the practice of meditating or of tapping into another dimension or wanting to expand your consciousness, a lot of people see it as being occultish or esoteric work, something that, religious people or normal humans aren't supposed to do. Because I have heard this in so many different ways, and I've read so many different books commenting on this theory that, it's against the creator, it's against the spirit that created us to tap into the future or perceive the future, because then that gives us the ability to start changing things. We start believing all of these myths as to what it means to have a consciousness that has the ability to tap into things and not even need to get religious, to get spiritual in an odd way where it's talking about becoming having occult behavior, Meaning some people, think witches might be a negative connotation, and then when they hear, oh, she's telling the future, or she can see the future, she saw something in the future and then it happened, she dreamt about it and then it happened, that's evil in a sense. Those myths that we have been believing and tagging onto the ability for our being to expand past what we're experiencing right now while we're still in a human body, it's literally tampering our ability to create our own destiny. And what's happening is along the lines of us believing myths all over the board. I'm not just talking about, being able to see the future, or when he's referring to is being able to connect to every period in time. It's not a scary thing. It is a brilliant and excellent thing. And because we're not taught that, because we might not know the right practices to go about it, or what to believe, what to trust, what might be a little bit, creepy, because there are some strange things when you get into spiritualism or, other dimensions and things like that. So what he goes into saying is that while we are telling ourselves either we can't do something, so say a goal comes to our head, or we have a vision or a dream, we want to become something big, we want to be a fashion designer, we want to be a mother, we want to be a caretaker, we want to build a house, we want to become healthy again. Something in our head then tells us, no, let's not go about it. Let's not do that. You tell yourself you can't. You might tell yourself you don't have the ability to, you don't have the confidence to, you don't have the personality to do it, you don't have the resources to do it. You tell yourself the lie over and over and over again. This can be about anything. Maybe you tell yourself you're a bad artist. Maybe you tell yourself you'll never be able to learn how to juggle, or you'll never be able to teach your dog how to sit and stay. A lie told over and over again, and he repeats this so many times in the video to make you really understand this. A lie told over and over again creates its own destiny. We're beings out here that are supposed to be able to create whatever we want to, but yet we are tampering our minds with myths, with lies, with negative energy, with negative people. Maybe these people, our outside influences, are the ones telling us these lies. Maybe we have a toxic friend group. Maybe we have a toxic partner or a toxic parent. And these people, or these, these groups, say it's at school, are really tampering us, are hurting our consciousness, are hurting our spirit. And we're not allowing ourselves to tap into the things that we really need to be able to tap into. And again, we just tell ourselves a lie over and over. If we are able to connect to the consciousness that's above time and space, you guys, it really does open your mind. I haven't really understood it yet. There's been moments in my life where I have literally, I promise, and I want to make videos about this, but I have felt something, or I have seen something, or I have visioned something, or just a feeling has come to me. And then it happens. Like, it happens, and it's so amazing. And what he's saying is we have the ability to hold on to that and then expand that and turn it into something even bigger. We're allowing our lies to manifest their own destinies and hurt our own, to where we're stuck. We are human bodies just stuck because we have this ever-expanding mind that is being humbled and patched up with all of these lies and myths and, like I said, negative outside influences. So when we realize the power that our consciousness really has, not only will we be able to change our lives, but we'll be able to change other people's lives. And I promise you, I am not just telling you this because I saw some dude on YouTube talking about this last night. He reminded me of the things that I already knew deep down inside. And that okay, so anyway, the power of consciousness. So what he then goes into explaining is that we already know a couple things about how our mind works and how our brains work and how the world and the universe works, all right? There's science, there's objective knowledge, there's intellect, and then there's consciousness. And this consciousness is when you have the ability to sense, feel, or know something. So here's where my own mind wrote down in my notes, I think this is how we are being taken advantage of by a mass. Oh my gosh. This is how I believe we are being controlled as a mass. Collective consciousness is a real thing. I have talked about this in videos. It is the notion that because we are all humans, we all have a collective consciousness as human beings. The dimension that we are on right now, because we have the ability to have this collective consciousness that we've talked about, it can manifest a collective destiny on its own based off of fears and lies. Think about what is happening right now. Anxiety, fears, lies, false information. We're not going about it the right way. People may understand this, For movements to happen, there needs to be control over the masses. I'm not saying specifically I'm tagging this on to what is exactly I am, but we're not going on a tangent. If we are being controlled by fear, and if we are being told lies and myths about everything, and as a collective consciousness, as human breathing beings on earth, we have this energy above us that is holding us down and not allowing us as a collective consciousness to expand. All of us, like I'm here in my little room doing this stuff by myself. My single-handed consciousness can't take over the world. It can't change the world. All of us together, if all of us had the ability to tap into the same collective consciousness and understand that we can manifest our own destiny, imagine the shit we could create and imagine the miracles we could create. So let's go back to the key points that we were talking about. Consciousness is the ability to sense, feel, and know outside of just this physical realm, right? When you ask the universe to know something, like a lot of us probably do. I mean, I'm not going to lie, a couple days ago, I was really feeling hurt because of how out of control I feel the world is right now. And I was thinking to myself, why can't we as humans come together and expose a lot of stuff? Like, why can't we? And I kept like just wondering, why can't we? How can I know I'm not a miracle worker, but how can I help? Because I'm getting really sick and tired of sitting here and feeling helpless. And I'm not saying that in a selfish way. I'm saying we feel as humans helpless right now. We're being controlled in the most strangest ways that we've never been controlled before. And now is our time. Now is the time to shine before it's way too late. Before way too many people are stuck under a myth or a lie to where the collective consciousness is just tainted. That's literally the goal right now. Because what did I say? Human beings, as a collective consciousness, having the ability to create its own destiny, holy moly. Holy moly. When we ask to know something, answers may come in many different forms. But what happens is our mind starts boom, boom, boom. It's like we have a ping pong paddle, and every time the universe is trying to send us a message, our mind is sensing a ping pong ball coming, but our arms just automatically like smack it out the way because some things are like, nope, that's a lie. Don't trust that person. You're stupid. You don't even know how to think right. You can't even do makeup. And you're like, but I'm just trying to know what my purpose is. But you're telling me like I am ugly, so that inflicts like my purpose. So our minds have this ability to tamper with our consciousness just as much as our outside influences do. So sometimes when we ask to know something and the answer does come to us, like even if it's something simple, like, what is a great example? Is my best friend really my best friend, for an example? And then, a sign comes to where out of the blue your best friend texts you and is like, hey, what are you doing? And that was, your sign from the universe showing you like, yo, y'all are connected, everything is Gucci. But then your mind, all of a sudden, when she texted you, is like, she hasn't texted me in 3 days. Why? Like, no. So your ping pong paddle just smacked away a little sign from the universe that you asked for, but because your mind is tampered with so many myths and so much just like negativity, mine is, it happens all the time. I'm literally not over here saying I'm some, like I said, miracle worker with lightning strikes coming out my head like, oh, universe, tell me everything. No, my mind is literally a force field not letting things in sometimes. And I think that's what drives us crazy. So, how do we do this? Well, we are overthinking all of the time. We are stressing all of the time. I'm not going to speak for you. I can't. People, myself, I am always stressing. I will come up with a video idea and then overanalyze it a million times before I even take notes or before I even turn on the camera. And this is not regarding me turning off the camera, starting over a million times. Because some little ping pong paddle had to smack something or feel the need to smack me. Remember the tennis racket in the other video? Yeah, we're just consistently smacking ourselves in the head. So our thoughts are just going crazy. And then when the universe tries to send us something, a crazy thought is already rushing by. And then the message bounces and ricochets back off into the universe. And it's like, I tried so hard to help, but it just didn't work out. It just didn't happen. So Our mindset can swallow our consciousness. It really can. Think about it. I'm sure there's been points in your life where you felt so intuitive and so conscious of everything that was going on, so in control, and then the roller coaster went downhill, and then you realized what it was like to, oh, I have no control over myself, my thoughts, my future, my present. I feel like I can't even, or didn't have control over my past. Then the hill goes up into the clouds a little bit, and the roller coaster stops at the top, and you're like, oh, I think I have a little bit of a grasp on this. That's where I feel like I'm at right now. So I just want to try to get you up there with me. So we are overdoing it, and then when the nighttime comes, just as Mr. Greer told us, we're not allowing our minds to rest properly. So an unrested mind cannot gather useful information and apply it in proper ways. It's like putting flour in water, making a paste, and then putting that over a pasta strainer, and then thinking you're going to be able to drain water through it. It's packed on with a little bit of gunk, and even if you like shake it around a little bit or pour some water on it, it gets like, it's weird. That's what's happening to our minds. Our minds need to be a cleared out pasta strainer. No debris, my friends. We need to gather all the information we can, and we need it to come in, flow through our bodies, and flow out so we can help other people learn too. Pasta will get stuck if our mind is just like, oh. And then who's gonna want help from somebody who has starch all over themselves? I don't. Anyway, we need to stop guessing. We have to stop guessing. Because why? Guessing helps the lies develop into their own destiny. So what do you mean guessing? Well, if I go around guessing, like, here's a perfect example. I think my boyfriend's cheating on me. So say, you're an intuitive girl and you're just like, yo, universe, tell me if my boyfriend is cheating on me. I need a sign. And then, like, say the universe gives you a sign. You're, like, walking in public and your boyfriend, like, has to look at somebody's ass and you're just like, oh. I guess that was okay. You guessing and not allowing the universe to tell you the truth, it's gonna hurt you. Ask yourself, am I sensing this or am I guessing? Am I sensing what's really going on or am I guessing? I think relationships with your parents or with a loved one is always a perfect example to almost not practice, but to ask yourself, am I going about my life sensing or guessing? Sensing or guessing. So in my notes, I wrote down that I had a aha moment, because think about it this way. He goes into explaining, well, yeah, we're going to give you all this information, but how the heck do you practice something like this? We have such busy days, for example, we don't even know, like they're saying, I don't even know if I'm sensing or guessing. So how can I practice and truly know? In the video, there's a really silly example of get with your group of friends and somebody puts a bunch of random items into the box and you put the box in the middle of the room and everybody sits there and you ask the universe, all right, what's in the box? And then you don't allow your mind to go crazy. You don't allow lies to come in, myths, none of this. Maybe you say, oh, it's a hat, but then another thought goes, no, it's not. Why would somebody put a hat in the box? You don't allow your mind to go crazy. You just say, all right, universe, what's in the box? Then you let your mind relax, completely relax. And it's hard, that's why practice is practice. You will know the feeling when it's that gut feeling. You've experienced this before. If you are able to practice daily, if you are able to just even, start writing things down in your journal, start practicing the little mind game with sensing something, in my opinion, sensing doesn't cause anxiety. Guessing causes anxiety. And this is coming from my personal, mind. When I sense something, and even as I've written it down, and as it's explained in the video, you get an accurate, objectively true puzzle piece or a data point. So for example, this is going to be really goofy. You don't have to believe me at all. I had this sense come to me that I was going to know what it was going to feel like to blow out my knee that I already had reconstructive surgery on. I had this sense come to me, and what's so funny is I let it go and I didn't think too hardly about it. This was years ago. And lo and behold, shortly later, in October, and you guys saw this, I blew out my knee that I had reconstructive surgery on. So that's just one little example of like a moment in my life where I had a sense come to me. I had a true, like a objectively true puzzle piece come to me, and I just had it. I held on to it. I didn't start guessing around with it. I didn't start acting out differently, but that was a moment where I recognized that feeling of that sense. That's why I don't know what it is, and that's why it's funny, and I can say it can come in so many different ways. It can be a word, it can be a vision, it can be a thought, it can be a picture that comes to your head, like just a solid picture. I don't know how this came to me, but it just came to me. I didn't allow my mind to start like pinballing and doing all of these crazy things. I kind of knew that the universe was just like gonna either like I said, it was a sign, or I'm just guessing. I'm either guessing, damn, I bet you one day I'm going to know what this feels like. So that's my perfect example of when I can ask myself in the past, when have I sensed something and when was I guessing, and how do I know? Well, because I experienced it and I felt the feeling inside of me. Fast forward to just a regular time. There could be a time where you're sitting in your car and something tells you something's about to fly by me. Either somebody might run a red light, somebody might turn real quickly, somebody might just drive by you, and then it happens. Then you have that feeling that's like, oh, aha, I was right, like I got it. Something gave me that sign, like I don't know what it was. We have the ability to tap into this consciousness field that is outside of just our little human existence. And with practice, and journaling, I promise, journal all of your weird intuitive moments. Write down all of the times where you've dreamt something and then it's come true. With practice, you will recognize the feeling you get when you did get a puzzle piece. From experience. And like I said, sometimes we just need to be reminded that we are special. Not just saying that to sound cliche. We are very special. And because we're being told differently, because we are fed fear on a day-to-day basis, because people have so much control over us sheep, our destiny is already being created for us, and because we are not realizing it, and we are just allowing myths to be fed to us with a silver spoon, and we don't rip the spoon out ourselves, toss it into an open field, and then open up a book or open up a page on the internet, because I'm telling you, everything is out there. Like you can find answers to a lot of things, and if you can't, tap in. Start experimenting by yourself. If you think certain plants can't grow, or you've read in a book things can't grow, prove it wrong. Start experimenting and seeing that this life we're experiencing is really, really, really crazy. It's just practice, even if it's something simple. Right before you take a little nap, have intention behind what you're doing. Whether it be an intention to have a certain type of dream, or to see something, like to travel to a certain place in your dream. If you set out the intention and allow your mind to try to just take advantage of the consciousness we have, we're gonna start experiencing really, really crazy things. Because what happens also, why we need to take dreams so seriously, is because when we allow ourselves to go to sleep, our intellect and our ego disappear. They just dissipate. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it does. So that's why it's so important to write down your dreams, to try to interpret your dreams, to use your dreams as a way to lucid dream. It's that ability to have control in that conscious field. A lot of us are told we can't have that ability to control that. So if we're told that we don't have the ability to control ourselves traveling through our own dreams, and then on top of that, we're told that we don't even have the ability to travel our own life on this earth outside of dreaming, we gotta work all the time just to try to feed ourselves, but then we say that's okay because that's what we're told. And us as a human consciousness, collective consciousness, we don't rise above it. And I know some people are gonna be like, yo honey, it's not as easy as it sounds. I promise, I know that's why we're all sitting here. That's why we're all sitting here, and that's why a lot of us feel stuck. You just gotta ask. And that's where the ask, believe, receive comes into play. So it's not ask, get something, receive, or ask, believe in something, receive it, and then pinball it. Right before we end, another little time you can practice is right when you wake up. If you allow yourself and take care of your body and your mind and allow yourself to get a well night's sleep of rest, there's this moment when you wake up and it's in between your dreaming and your wake state. It's where you're very, very relaxed, but you're not quite awake yet. If you use that small time period that you have every single day, for one, put out an intention for the day. Ask for something. Ask for a problem to be solved. Ask for a sign. You just gotta ask for something. But if you use that little time period of day where, like I said, your ego isn't in full gear yet, your intellect isn't in full gear yet, you're just a mind that's like buzzing up on this level before we're brought down here. If we use that time to take advantage of it, then we'll be able to sense things. We will be able to connect to the past, present, and future, and it will be understood. It won't be viewed as a myth. The information that is then received won't be viewed as a myth or a lie or some evil form of a message. It'll all be understood. Like they refer to it in the video, it's remote viewing. Our souls have the ability to create our own destiny, to peel off the lies and the fabrications and the fake crap, the starch that's covered all over us, so we can just filter the messages through. It'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. So yeah, I really hope that this inspired you. We do have the ability to manifest our future, and that's what's happening, but we don't understand that. We don't understand that the lies we're telling us are manifesting our destiny, are tampering our minds, creating our future. And that's why the future looks so ugly. We're lying to ourselves, saying we can't figure it out and we can't manifest it by ourselves. Please do like your own research and look into other videos that talk about topics like this, because it's very interesting. Don't allow yourself to stay ignorant to anything. You have no excuse to not start dreaming, and I'm not just joking when I say that. Dream. Interpret your dreams. Put out your intentions. Journal. So start practicing. Start practicing, please. You'll be amazed. You don't have to believe me, just do it for yourself. Just try it. Because that feeling is going to help you practice. Yes, that feeling is going to help you practice. So I really, really hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, I do. That's for sure. See you guys later.